space, reality, the multiverse. I am your guide. Follow me as I ask the question. What if?
I was Brandon Davis. No, BD is on vacation this week, so you get me, Chris Killian, sneaking into his bedroom like a ninja, just so we can talk about every Easter egg we spotted and my full reaction to the premiere episode of Marvel's What If Captain Carter at the end of the video. The episode begins with Uatu, more commonly known as the Watcher, voiced by Jeffrey Wright, who will be the series narrator and the connective thread of sorts between all of these multiverse stories. Just like in the comics, Marvel's omnipotent observer has been around a long time, first introduced in 1963's Fantastic Four number 13. Just like the comics, the Watcher sees all but can't interfere in any of the events he speaks of, so in a way, he's really just like the rest of us when we watch anything Marvel related.
We can't change anything.
Also, just in case you weren't aware, the show is inspired by Marvel's What If comic book series of the same name, which were first published in 1977. However, the big difference is that the stories in this show are based off the MCU and aren't directly adapted from the comics, which is too bad because the comics have a ton of stories I would love to see adapted. What if Hulk killed Wolverine? What if Punisher became Captain America? What if Uncle Ben had lived? I could go on all day. What if Wolverine had killed Hulk? What if the Hulk had the brain of Bruce Banner? Actually, we don't really need that one.
But who? Who told you that?
As we quickly learn, the entire 25-minute episode is basically a retelling of the events of Captain America the First Avenger, only slightly skewed towards what if it were Peggy Carter that had got the super soldier serum instead of Steve Rogers. Well, we wouldn't need She-Hulk, I can tell you that. If you've recently watched Captain America the First Avenger and you're wondering where Tommy Lee Jones is, but also wondering who the F this guy is, that's Bradley Whitford reprising his role from Agent Carter as Colonel John Flynn, and he's pretty much an a-hole in that too.
What the hell do you think you're doing?
Does this mean Agent Carter is canon now?
No.
Now, there are several self-explanatory nods to the events of Captain America going on. The USO tour, Steve's friend being behind enemy lines, and Captain Carter and Steve flirting over having a dance with one another. There's also a sneaky reference to Tonsberg being nice this time of year. If that place sounds familiar, it's where Odin fought the Frost Giants in Thor and left behind that little blue cube that used to mean something called the Tesseract. And obviously, it's also where the Red Skull recovers the Tesseract in Captain America. Speaking of, one interesting little tidbit here is that in Captain America the First Avenger, when the Red Skull finds the Tesseract, it's hidden behind a carving of a serpent. But here it's a carving that looks a lot like Shuma-Gorath, a one-eyed tentacled creature that's been rumored to be appearing in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Now, did Peggy's decision somehow change this carving, or is this just a plot hole? We may never know. Now, a lot of people think the beast that Peggy fights at the end is Shuma-Gorath, but this has actually been confirmed by head writer A.C. Bradley as being an Obelisk, the same creature that the Guardians of the Galaxy fight at the beginning of Volume 2. By this point in the episode, you might be wondering why Peggy isn't actually called Captain Britain. It's because that name is taken by an interdimensional core of mystical protectors and traditionally embodied in the comics by Brian Braddock, and hopefully one day to be played by Henry Cavill. Captain Britain often fights with Excalibur, and seeing Peggy with the sword is a cool nod to that. Peggy becoming Captain Carter isn't the only twist we see, as now, for some reason that goes unexplained, Tony Stark's father Howard Stark invents the Iron Man prototype to give it to Steve, which they dub the Hydra Stomper. Not quite as good of a name as Hulkbuster, but it's close. Now, this has far-reaching implications for Iron Man himself, none of which we get any answers to here, but it's still fun to see skinny Steve get in on some action. Oh, did you catch Bucky tell Peggy Carter, "You nearly ripped my arm off"? I wonder what that could possibly be a nod to.
Okay, how much for the arm?
Now, if I'm being completely honest, I found myself slightly underwhelmed by What If's premiere episode. I thought the animation was stellar and the action was surprisingly violent, like Peggy messes some dudes up. But the fact that Disney tried to essentially condense a 2.5-hour movie into 25 minutes just didn't work for me personally. With that being said, anthologies are almost always hit or miss, and some stories are naturally going to be better than others, so I'm excited to see what the rest of the What If stories are. But based on Captain Carter, What If is off to a slow start. Tell me what you guys thought in the comments, or tell me if there were any Easter eggs you spotted that I didn't cover. You can find me on Twitter at Chris Killian or on Instagram at CK Comedy, and be on the lookout for the rest of BD's What If Easter egg videos over on Comicbook.com. For BD, I'll see you there.